Hey guys, Rocky here, and as promised, I'm bringing you guys a quick tutorial on how we do Razuvious as priests. You're gonna get a small intro here while we clean up the trash, because I had no other footage. Basically, first things first, as a mind controlling priest on Razuvious, you need 3% hit. Spell hit, obviously. If you have a 2% hit stat from ZG or Anchorai, that is one of the best pieces to use, as well as basically any other hit piece. It doesn't matter what your other stats are, as long as you have the 3% required hit. If you have more hit and you have a bit of stamina gear, a bit of intellect gear, that's all fine. Basically, if you execute everything correctly, your 3% hit is the only thing that matters, and you might as well be naked for the rest. The other thing you need is an invisibility potion if you are the first priest to mind control. The second priest does not need this, but obviously it's good to be prepared for both situations, so I recommend everyone to bring at least one stack per raid. Then thirdly, you will need the two macros that you need for the taunt and for the shield wall. These will be posted in the description below or in the priest channel on Discord. Now you see that we move into position. This is basically the general raid position for the ranged and the healers. We're going to be in this position for the entirety of the fight, except for the ranged DPS who need to peek out to get line of sight on Razuvious, and of course the melee who can go in and stay in line of sight without penalty. You can see we've marked up the mobs and Razuvious is patrolling around. You can also see me put on my hit gear, very important step. Basically, as a second controlling priest you will be taking the square, and as the first controlling priest you will be taking the triangle. We will switch to Inzo's view in a moment to show the actual proper positioning for pulling the first mob. So as we switch to Inzo's view, you can see I've marked myself with a star to explain to the current raid what the proper positionings are. I'm currently standing in the position where the priest and the rest of the raid is. You can see me jumping up, and I'm about to move out into the field to show the off-tanks where to take the mobs. It's basically just a couple of yards away from the ranged camp, while staying in line of sight of all the healers. We're about to do a pull here. You're going to see Inzo pop an invisibility potion as soon as Razuvious is in the correct position. You can see Razuvious is basically walking a circle around the green dot in the middle. It will occasionally stop to talk to one of the mobs, but this is randomized, more or less. The timing for the invisibility potion is basically when he reaches the skull. You want to pop the invisibility potion, as Inzo will do now. There we go. Move forward, and right behind the corner, you move there and you start casting just before Razuvious hits the cross. You have control of the mob, everything will aggro onto it. You want to press your first macro and your second macro at the same time. The first one will target Razuvious and taunt, and the second one will shield wall to keep you alive. As you saw Inzo just do, you backpedal up the ramp and into this position. You can see that by this point the square, which is being mind controlled by myself, is already in position and ready to taunt. As soon as Inzo calls out that his shield wall is gone, I will taunt and he will move his mob back to the tank group. He keeps it for a little while to make sure that it gets a few heals, and then moves up the ramp into the rest of the raid. We'll be switching to my point of view now to show you how that first tank handoff went. Now, as you can see from my point of view, Inzo just ran in there with an invisibility potion. I already have the square targeted because that's going to be my first mind control mob. Mind control hits, the tanks run in and pick up everything. I stay in the safe spot to make sure that I'm always out of vision of Razuvious. And as soon as the square enters my field of vision, I push my mind control button, which is one of my mouse keys. I move on to Inso's triangle, and I'm ready to hit my 2 macros. I kind of messed up here because I didn't have them on a decent keybind, but I still just take over no problem. And that's all there is to it. I'll tank it now for a full 20 seconds until Inso has the next mob ready and brings it back to me, which is doing a bit slowly, I think. My shield wall ran out now, but I got a lucky dodge and he took over now. So if your mob has a bit of damage, you keep it in this position and you wait with dropping the mind control to let it get healed up. And that's the entire fight basically. I mind control the next mob and yeah, get back into position to take over again. And you can do this cycle on a perfect timer. As a mind control priest, there is literally nothing else to this fight. This is all you do on a consistent rotation. Priest 1, priest 2, priest 1, priest 2. The mobs go immune to mind control after you release them for a full minute, but it takes a full minute for the mob to be needed next time in the mind control rotation anyway. And as you can see, Inso just took it over with the triangle, which is the first mob we mind controlled. And that is going to be the one that we actually kill Razuvious with. There is no next mind control incoming. And there's the kill. That's another Splinter of Atiesh for me. As soon as he dies, the understudies take massively increased damage, so you can basically one-shot them as soon as the Razuvious is dead. Inso waited for dropping the mind control, but it really wasn't needed. And that's all there is to mind controlling as a priest on Razuvious. If you execute this perfectly, your raid will be extremely grateful to you. Here's a couple testimonials just to show what was said during the raid, and I'll see you guys next time.
It's looking clean.
Wow, I love you guys. That's how you fucking do it.
Oh, boy.
Wow.